Good morning, everyone. My name is Rebecca. Welcome to, I'm just going to straighten this out a little bit. Welcome to season 4, episode 1 of the Revenue Rundown. It's our first episode this year. We're pretty excited. If you can believe it, it is our 4th year doing the Revenue Rundown since we've started doing this project. The show has looked very different from year to year, especially as we've tried to adapt to the challenges of a global pandemic. But our goal has always stayed the same. Our goal has always been to provide updates about taxes and water bills when you need the information the most, which is during the tax season. So I know that we've all lived through really big changes over the last couple of years. And at Revenue, we're actually currently going through adjusting to another really big change, which is the implementation of a brand new tax system. We're going to have a ton of information about the Philadelphia tax system over the season. You want to remember that name. It's going to come up a lot. But today, we're going to kick things off with a real estate tax relief program. We're going to be talking about real estate tax relief programs. So updating. So the Philadelphia Tax Center is, I'm going to link a video here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So if any of you were watching, we're trying to do things a little bit. We're actually, in order to be COVID safe, we're splitting the screen. Hi, Sandy.
How are ya?
I'm great. So I was just kind of going through my intro, and then I'll do a better job introducing you.
My pleasure.
Okay. So if you were just joining us, the Philadelphia Tax Center is an incredibly big project. It's such a big shift. We're actually doing it over 2 years. So as far as 2022 property taxes are concerned, you're just going to continue to pay the way you did last year. And that's the same also for real estate tax assistance programs. Like eventually, all of those applications are going to be on the tax center. But for this year, you're just going to apply the way you might have ever applied in years past. And we're going to discuss those applications and what's happening right now with Sandi Ramos. Hey, Sandy, how are you?
Hi, good morning.
Sandy heads up our tax credits and assistance programs, or TCAP, unit here at Revenue, and she's going to help us talk about some of the upcoming deadlines for some important programs. Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes, you as well. It's exciting.
You look great. I've got my new 2022 due.
I'm loving it.
One of our big important property tax assistance program has an application deadline coming up. That's true, right?
That's right. Our senior tax freeze, the deadline's coming up on January 31st, so we thought we'd pop in today and tell everybody all about it.
Okay,
so want me to explain a little bit?
Yeah, tell me what it is for folks who don't know.
Sure. So it's a tax program for anyone who is 65 and older who meets certain income guidelines. And essentially, it freezes your real estate taxes. So if your assessment goes up in future years, you're not going to pay any more real estate taxes. You're going to pay exactly what you pay today.
Yeah, so long as you continue to qualify, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's really, really important. So there are some income guidelines for that program. For a single individual, it's $27,500. For a married couple, is $35,500. And so as long as you and your spouse stay within those income guidelines, and you live in your property, because that's really important. You have to own and occupy your property. As long as you meet those requirements, your taxes stay the same.
It's a really powerful program to protect people, especially seniors, to help them stay in their homes. We have a really easy website for folks to get to the application. It's www.phila.gov/senior-freeze. I know that was put in the comments just now. And we've gotten a couple of questions about that program. Like, for example, why can't we change the income guidelines?
Oh my goodness. Well, I wish we could. That would be great. But the income guidelines are guided by the state. So they're right in line with PACE or PACENet. And so when the state changes that legislation, it will filter down to us in this program. However, we are right in line with those programs right there. And so since they guide it, we have to follow their rules.
Right. It's yeah. So just another couple questions about senior freeze. Can someone at Revenue help a resident fill out an application? And once a person
Well,
has submitted it, how do they know they're approved?
sure. So, I mean, we could, right? If you really need help, you can call the hotline, you can call Revenue Customer Service, you can even come in, but the application only takes 2 to 3 minutes max. There's just a couple questions. Do you own and live in your home? It asks you for all of your identifier information, right? What's your name, what's your address, your birthday, because it is a program based on age, so we need to know your birthday, the birthday of your spouse. Um, and are you using it for business? That's a really important question that we ask on there. And what's your annual income? I think there are 5 questions. You sign it, you send it in. Super, super easy. If you need to come to Revenue, we'll be happy to help you. However, a trusted friend, family member, senior centers have social workers who are really trained in these things, and in community agencies. There's a ton of people all over the city who, would be more than happy to help you. But we're here for if you need us.
So last question about senior freeze. Can you have the senior freeze with other assistance programs at the same time?
So you can. You're eligible for the homestead exemption if you're enrolled in the senior tax freeze. And so if you don't have homestead yet and you do enroll in senior freeze, we will actually automatically enroll you into that program so you receive the benefits of both.
Oh, good. And you can also be in a payment agreement and have senior freeze. Is that correct?
You certainly can. We offer payment agreements here, different kinds for different folks. We have an installment, which runs for the year-long time. And then we also have an owner-occupied payment agreement that runs a little bit longer.
So tell me more about the owner-occupied payment agreement, or UPA.
The UPA, my favorite. I like to say Oopa Loopa. I think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory all the
No,
time.
I like super UPA. Like
Oh,
now
Super Oopa. I like that one even
now
better.
that you can now that you can get a $0 amount payment agreement, I feel like that's a super UPA. So tell us more about it.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with that from now on. This Super UPA. So UPA, owner occupied payment agreement, is again for someone who owns their home and lives in their house, someone who is falling behind on taxes. You're having a hard time paying, your taxes are becoming delinquent. And so we will take, some good information from you, and we will get you into a payment agreement that's right for you. Seniors can get a really, really low monthly payment and stay in compliance with their UPA agreement.
And so just to clarify, anyone can get an UPA, but if you're struggling
Yes,
to pay your real estate taxes and you own and are living in your home and it's your primary residence, anyone can qualify for an UPA regardless of their income. What changes is the
yes.
amount that they have to pay every month and the amount that we might forgive at the end of the agreement. So that's what's different. So I think it's important that folks don't limit themselves if they think, oh, I'm not going to qualify for that. Yeah, you will. If you're struggling to pay, we've got a program that can help you. Um,
We
Again, we've gotten,
absolutely do. And
go ahead.
I was just saying, it's really important for anyone who might be falling behind to give us a call. A lot of people don't think that we have programs that can help and sort of wait a little bit too long. So sometimes people even get into payment agreements and struggle to pay, maybe because they've had a significant decrease in their income. And we always encourage people to give us a call. If your income has decreased in some way, let us know, send us in the information so that we can reassess and reevaluate. And if you're in a payment agreement that maybe is too high because maybe you had a higher income when you applied, we can make adjustments for you. But don't get behind. Give us a call. We're definitely here to help.
Right. I think that's really good advice. Like, don't wait. Like property tax, well, any tax problems with Philly or with the IRS or with the state, they don't go away. So don't wait. The second you think you're going to have a problem, we encourage you to reach out to us. And I know the link was just put in the comments. I think you can email your application, right, to payment or revenue.payment.agreement@phila.gov. It's going to take us a few days to get to process that, but we can also answer any questions you have about your application through that email address as well, correct?
Yeah, revenue.payment.agreement@phila.gov is that email. You can email applications to us. You can ask questions about it. That is the place to go. If you have that owner-occupied payment agreement, a staff member will get back to you and will answer all of your questions. And you can also download an UPA application online at www.phila.gov/UPA. That's OOPA.
And those applications we have them available in Spanish and in Simplified Chinese, right?
We do. And some people need assistance filling out their UPA applications. You can actually come to Revenue, to the Municipal Services Building. You can come in, or you can call and make an appointment. And a staff person, if you need assistance, will be happy to help you with that.
The trick, two things if you're going to come in though. One, we encourage you to make an appointment, and you can do that. There's a link on the front page of phila.gov/revenue. Yes, we'll take walk-ins, but for COVID safety, we encourage you to make an appointment. But also, take a look at that application and see what documents you need to bring as well, because you also need to prove that you live in the property, and you need to provide income information. So, your Social Security letter or your last tax return, or, those kinds of documents. So take a look at the application before you come in and kind of get a little prepared before you come on in. Okay, and just to clarify.
Yeah, don't just show up because
yeah.
Saying don't just show up, you definitely need to bring some information with you. So that's a great suggestion, is you probably want to go through and take a peek at that.
Sandy, you kind of mentioned getting into trouble, like suddenly you realize you're in a payment agreement and you're struggling. What happens if you make a payment one month and are you going to get kicked off? Are you going to get kicked out of the program? And if you default on one payment agreement, can you apply again?
My gosh, well, defaults are really tough, right? If you're in an UPA and you miss 1 month, you're not going to automatically default. However, you need to catch up just as soon as you can. And so, you want to get right back on track. You want to start paying that just as soon as you can. Again, if you are having trouble because you cannot pay because your income has decreased, get to us as soon as that happens. Let us know that you've had a change in your income. Let us reevaluate with you, reassess your financial situation, and see if there's a better plan for you. I really want to recommend that people who are falling behind do not wait, because once you default on an agreement, it's really, really hard to get back in. There's a long, tedious appeal process. And so if we can stop that early on, we don't even have to go down that route.
And for folks watching, there is no deadline to apply for an UPA. It's just like a rolling basis. Like we will accept those applications at any time. So don't worry about missing a deadline. You're seeing trouble on the horizon, get that application in. I want to talk about one other program, but there is a program coming. Oh, did you want to add something?
I was just going to say there is no deadline for the UPA. So once you've realized that you can't, you're falling behind, you want to apply for that. The installment agreement, though, that deadline is March 31st.
Okay, tell us about the installment agreement and who can get one.
Yeah, absolutely. It allows homeowners who qualify to pay their current real estate taxes in monthly installments instead of one larger payment. So those installments get broken down into payments, and you pay them monthly through the year, and then your annual real estate tax is paid generally by December.
Okay, but so all
Seniors can
seniors,
apply.
hmm and then it is income
So
based
see,
for everyone else.
absolutely. So everybody can get into an installment agreement if you own and live in your home. I think that's really key. You have to own and live in your home to get into an installment. The deadline is March 31st, and we manage it a little bit for different for seniors than we do for everybody else. But everybody else is eligible, and there are payment income guidelines is how we determine, how that works for you.
And there is, so I know that Michelle put this in the chat, but www.phila.gov/revenue/installment-plan is where you can find those income requirements. That's for everyone who's under 65. Everyone who's a Philadelphia resident and over 65 who has their primary residence and owns their home. And when I say when we say own your home, we don't mean that like you own it outright. You don't pay anything to the bank. We just mean that like you are living in a property that you are in the process of buying or own it, right? Like, so just one point of clarification if anyone is ever confused about it. And it's my understanding, Sandy, that once you're in the program, you're kind of in it. You're in it to win it. So every year, the department will send you a little booklet of coupons to help you make monthly payments. Is that correct?
That's right. So with all of our programs, once you're in unless you've had some sort of change in your situation, or if you have a deed change. If you have a deed change, that automatically puts a wrench in things, and then you need to get back in touch with us. But if you've had nothing change on your property, nothing change in your personal situation, we get you into an installment this year, you will automatically be enrolled into an installment next year, so long as you're paying on time and meeting the requirements of that agreement.
That is all awesome information. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have a couple of other programs, but we're talking about programs that have upcoming deadlines. So if you want to find out about all of our property tax relief programs, please visit www.phila.gov/real estate-relief. Real-estate-relief. I want to thank you, Sandy, for joining us today. It's always great to have you. You're great. You're always one of my favorite guests. You're always so personable and helpful. One of the other things
Thank
that
you
we
so much,
do here,
Rebecca.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. One of the other things we do with the revenue rundown is to let folks know where they can find us in the community. The pandemic has forced a lot of these events that we participate in to go virtual, but there are still some events that are in person. And so we encourage you, whatever you're comfortable with, please come out and see us. Please check us out wherever we're at online. Reach out to us on social. But I'm going to quickly run through a calendar of events that are happening, and we'll put more information about those in the chat. But you can meet our outreach expert, Vicki Riley, this week, or next week, I should say, on Tuesday, January 18th. We'll be at the Tioga Improvement Team at 6 p.m. That's a virtual event. We'll have details on that. Another virtual event is Wednesday, January 19th at the Queen Village Neighbors Association. That's at 6:30. Thursday, January 20th at noon, you can see Vicki in person at the 7th Police District Advisory Council. That's at 10100 Jameson Avenue. Saturday, January 22nd, again, in person, we'll be at the New Kensington CDC Real Estate Tax Relief Assistance presentation. Say that 7 times fast. That's at 2311 East Auburn Street at the Firm Hope Baptist Church from 1 to 3. So that sounds like there's probably a lot of really, really good stuff happening at that event. January 24th at 6:30, we'll be at the Take Back Your Neighborhood community meeting. That's at 1601 Hellerman Street. That's the Myers Recreation Center. On January 25th, in person at the Millbrook Civic Association, 4330 Deer Path Lane at 7 p.m. I don't even know how Vicki is able to take a breath. On Wednesday, January 26th, she's going to be in a virtual meeting organized by the Chew Belfield neighbors at 6 p.m. Thursday, January 27th is in person at 6:30 at the West Tarsdale Morrill Park Civic Association, and that address is 3252 Chesterfield Road. And as a reminder, we will come to any of your events, virtual or in person. If you are hosting an event, or you're helping to organize something, or you want to put something together, or you don't even know where to start, all you have to do is reach out to us via email. Email vicky.riley@phila.gov. I would love any of your ideas about how we can reach your community better, like what's going to work best for your community, and even in what language. Like, put your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear more about your ideas. We have our own ideas, but I think sometimes it helps to hear from community organizations directly. And that is it for our debut episode of season 4. I'd like to say a big thank you to Sandi Ramos, my guest, also to Joseph Bammett, who is the magic behind the camera. If you saw us yesterday, we were testing how to do this, I don't know, about 15 times yesterday, so you might have caught us go live and pop off and come back on. We figured it out, and hopefully we can continue to do this, and hopefully you are all staying safe. I'd also like to say thank you to Michelle Bailey, who is also helping us behind the scenes. She's taking care of all the links and watching the comments and making sure we're responding to things. Keep an eye out for our next episode, which is going to be in a couple of weeks, and we are really excited to be back live. And so always tell us what information you're missing. Follow us here on Facebook. Also, you can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, all at Phila Revenue. We're so glad to be back. I hope you're staying happy and safe and warm this season. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.